Here's an example of how I might use an AI tool to help me kind of create a learning experience in which I use Minecraft to help my students learn and apply some important skills. And just for the sake of this project, I'm going to look at an academic skill. And I went to the Virginia Department of Education's Standards of Learning site, and I just decided to pick mathematics because I thought that Minecraft, and because it's a creative environment, but it's also a programming environment, it might really lend itself well to math. But I know that you can do the same thing for many, many, many other types of academic learning outcomes. So here I am at the SOL site for math, and I'm just going to scroll down, and for some reason, I woke up this morning thinking about linear equations. So I am going to launch, I'm going to load the document that lists the Algebra 1 standards of learning. So I'm just going to save it to my computer, and I'm going to open it. Here I am in the document itself. And again, I'm interested in linear equations, so I'm going to scroll down to the very first category of equations and inequalities. And I'm going to just look at the superordinate or overarching objective, the very first one. So the students will represent, solve, explain, and interpret the solution to multi-step linear equations and inequalities in one variable and literal equations for a specified variable. I don't know about you, but that sounds just like gripping, like super exciting. Now, you could pick a more specific subordinate objective from one of these lower ones, but I'm going to select the big one here. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm then going to go to an AI tool, and my tool of choice right now is ChatGPT. You have many, many choices to pick from, but this is just the one that I've been using for the last year, and I really like it. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to help me define a learning experience for that objective. So I'm gonna paste a prompt that I already had copied. Can you describe a specific example of how an algebra teacher might use Minecraft to help her students learn the following objective? And here I just pasted the objective. And it's that superordinate objective for linear equations, and I have it here. So that's my prompt, and I'm going to send it to the brain. And it tells me, here's a concrete example of how an algebra teacher might use Minecraft to support that learning objective. And so, first of all, I love the fact that it starts its response with an overview of the context and setup. That's very cool. So the teacher builds or has students build a resource trading village inside Minecraft. Very fun, by the way, and I know that students in an algebra class would likely really enjoy that experience. And then you're going to be setting up a trade environment. And I don't know Minecraft well enough to know whether or not 3 emeralds for 2 blocks of iron is a good deal or not. I mean, honestly, it sounds good to me, but I don't know about any of that. But so that's the context, and then it gets into representing and solving those types of equations, and it lists all of that out. And then what might you do as a teacher to help explain that experience? And it at the end it says, this way Minecraft provides a purposeful context. Students are motivated to solve equations because the math directly unlocks progression in the game world. That's really great. And it ends by saying, would you like me to design a step-by-step student activity sheet? Well, for now, I'm going to say absolutely. It seems to me that there are other things that need to be included in this learning experience if I'm the teacher. But I'm going to click yes for now. And now it says, okay, here's a step-by-step student activity sheet for a Minecraft algebra quest. Well, I really like that. So part 1 is entering the village. And again, I would have to go through all of this to see whether or not it aligns with specifically with what I can expect my students to do, but also whether it represents a good instructional experience for learning about these linear equation, skills that I want my students to learn. Now, it does say at the end, would you like me to turn this into a student-friendly worksheet formatted for Word? Now, if I say yes to this might, if I like it, well, first of all, it'll come in as a Word document so I can edit it however I want as the teacher. But also, if I like what it presents, then I can, for this course project, I can go ahead and just download this document, which I'll click on right now. And I'm just going to save it, and I'm going to open it just so you can see. This is an example of what ChatGPT might create for you. So here's an example of the actual Word document that it created, the Minecraft algebra quest. And it goes through, it gives the objective for the students. It goes into part 1, entering the village. It walks through the steps. And then I'm not exactly sure if this is something the students have to actually input or whether it's something they have to come up with. It ends with some reflections that the students have to do. And again, I'm not sure how much of this worksheet aligns specifically with what I want my students to be able to actually learn and do. But wow, it didn't take very long, and it sure is something that could be potentially useful. So for this project, you might want to consider going all the way through the prompts until it produces some actual student-facing material for you, or you can just keep it as a listing of suggestions that you might do something with as a teacher. So that's just one example of how you might use a tool, an AI tool like ChatGPT, to help you develop a meaningful learning experience using a very creative environment like Minecraft.